Welcome, everybody, to the Starin November Town Hall. My name is Chris Neto, Market Development Manager here at Starin. And today I am joined by our friends from D10. We have Susan McDougal, the Channel Account Manager from D10, and Mr. David Silberstein, who is the Eastern Regional CAM for D10 as well. How are you? How's everything?
Thank you, Chris. We're good. We appreciate you allowing us to do this. Like Chris said, I'm Susan McDougal. I'm the DCAM here at D10, managing distribution. It's Chris. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so we really appreciate you making the time for us today.
No. We're super happy to have you guys come in and join us. Susan, where are you joining us from? Because that view is very stunning.
Yeah, it's my inspiration for me to get my boat. I actually live in Traverse City, Michigan, and this is not the East Coast. This is the West Coast. We like to call this the Central Coast. So this is actually a picture of Grand Traverse Bay. So in the summer, obviously not this time of year.
Mr. Silberstein, you are sitting in your posh penthouse up on Central Park West. How's everything where you are, sir?
That is correct. Other than not having internet service at the moment, I'm doing fine, but it's amazing. You can even do Zoom calls off a hotspot. So works well.
So we are going to be on a standby to see what's going to happen. So there's the game that we're playing today. How soon will Mr. Silberstein get clicked off this call and leave us hanging? But before we go, what is on the menu for today? For people that don't know, Dave is the ultimate griller. Are you still grilling at this time of year in New York City, in the New York area?
Oh, 100%. We are still grilling this time of year. Yesterday was salmon. And it's still up in the air, but I think tonight is going to be sausage and peppers.
Oh, there you go. Can't go wrong with that.
I will also grill the turkey.
Excellent. I can't wait. Picks or it never happened is all I got to say to that. So, Susan, we're going to start with you. You have a couple slides to show us some updates on what's going on within the channel and what the channel sales team at D10 is up to. So I will hand the presentation wand off to you. Go ahead.
Yep. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So we're gonna, make this pretty informal. Not a lot of slides, not a lot of death by PowerPoint, but we wanted to take a little bit of time to make sure that everyone on the call, we sort of regrouped and let you know what D10's been doing for the last 18 months since we last spoke. And I think one of the biggest changes that we've had as an organization is we've really grown up our sales team and brought in a lot of new sales leadership. To develop, a really robust and professional sales organization. And one of the things we've done is we've split our organizations and have dedicated field and dedicated channel teams. And the first thing is, notice I don't say a dedicated direct sales team. And that was a big mindset change within the D10 organization to change that name from direct sales to field sales. So we have a field sales organization that is out driving demand with the end users, making sure that D10 is well represented with end users, making sure that we are talking to enterprise customers, education customers, talking about the D10 value to drive that demand and push it down into the channel and to work hand in hand with the channel sales organization and our reseller community. So we've got our field sales, and we also now have a dedicated channel sales organization. We actually created this about a year ago. It was a relatively small team. I joined D10 just about a year ago. Dave, of course, has been on board for a couple of years now. Dave Silberstein has the East Coast, so he's the regional CAM managing resellers on the East Coast. Tim Ashlock is one of our channel account managers. It has a couple of named accounts and also does Canada, and he's been on board also for quite some time. But we have a couple of new names here that those of you that have been working with D10 for a while may not recognize. And this is important because we've grown our team. We've made investments in our team. We had Tom Shaw join D10 recently, towards the end of the summer, to be the regional CAM for the West. And Tony Crenshaw is actually 4 days into D10. He's our newest hire. managing the Midwest.
Wow,
And
the ink has not even dried on that slide. Look at that.
I know not only has the ink not even dried on the slide, but we also have someone new. You'll notice new Cam starting on Monday. So we are going to have somebody new as well, starting managing some of our named accounts as well.
Can I take it back to just a second?
Sure.
For the folks that are attending this webinar, what is the CAM's relation to, say, the people that are attending? Now, granted, most of the folks that are here are coming either as integrators, technology managers. There's some folks here from Starin. How does the CAM's work with this group of folks?
Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna take that first with anyone who's a Starin person. I obviously manage the day-to-day operations with Starin, but I think it's really important to know that the Starin reps also should be working with and do work very closely with the CAMs on accounts in their region. For any integrator, any reseller, any dealer, any consultant out there that's out in the field, and sorry, Mark, if you could just put up the slide for just one more second, because I just want to call attention to how we are region based. So the CAMs, the regional CAMs, their roles and their responsibility is managing the resellers, managing the dealers, managing the integrators, managing anyone selling D10 in these regions. So we do have a few named accounts, but if you're not one of those named account managers, that's okay. You have a regional channel manager. And so, like, for example, Dave's on this call, any of the, anyone who's located in one of those states that are highlighted orange, those would roll up through Dave Silberstein, and he would be your regional account manager, your regional CAM. So you can work with him.
Let me clarify, anybody whose headquarters office is in my region. Right, if you're a satellite office and your headquarters is in Kenilworth, New Jersey, or Tampa, Florida, you're still part of my team.
Yep, and so for the regional CAM, their responsibility is managing resellers that roll up into that region, and that could be anything from providing support, helping with trainings, helping answer technical questions, help answer product questions, but it also includes being that liaison between the relationship between Starin, D10, and our field sales team. Because like I said, I want to be very clear, our field guys work with the channel. And so for a reseller out there that's working, or an integrator out there that's working on a project and they're speccing D10 in, getting the regional CAM involved to help bring in our field sales account manager who's working with that end user also is really important, because we want to tie that loop off, and we want to know that you guys, the resellers out there, are working with our field rep to make sure that the customer has a good D10 experience.
For my intents and purposes, if I needed something done on the West Coast, whether it is a technology manager at a university or a corporation, I can use Tom Shaw as my resource, correct, to find the right person who can assist with the project.
Absolutely. And here's I think the most important takeaway from this is, again, we're a pretty small team. So you're on the West Coast, you reach out to Tom Shaw, if it doesn't fall under his patch, he's not going to say, nope, sorry, I can't help you, hang up the phone. He's going to say, yeah, I can help you, and I can get the right person involved. So the takeaway from this is, wherever you're falling in on that map, that should be your primary point person to start with for all things D10. And, we can help direct, either get the support, get the answer, provide the support, or get you to the right person who can help you out, whether it's, getting into our support team, whether it's getting into our field team, whether it's circling back with the appropriate Starin person to work on quotes, to work on, product delivery. The regional CAM is the person who would own that overall relationship to help ensure that the dealer, the reseller, the integrator has a good D10 experience.
And those regional CAMs also have access to sales engineers as well, if necessary.
Correct. Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Yep. So for folks that are attending the webinar and the seminar here that we're doing, we obviously just clarified that as well, that not only do you get the expertise of Dave Silberstein, but he also comes attached with an SC who can help to deliver those questions or those answers to those questions that may not be so easy. So thank you so much.
Yep.
Is this, now you said this is fairly new. This is something that you guys have cleaned up over the last year and put in place. Do you see any further changes coming?
What I do see is us making more investments in the channel. And, you know, right now, I think we've got our channel sales team set. You know, like I said, we've got another CAM starting on Monday. I think after that person starts, we're going to have a good team. But where I do think we're going to be making more investments is with programs specifically for the channel. So the other thing that we've done, and another big change we've made on the marketing side, and you know, we've brought in a new CMO, and he is, you know, going to be overhauling our entire marketing organization. What I mean by that is strengthening how we speak to customers and get our D10 name out. But the thing that's most important for this audience here is we've also brought on board a channel marketing director, and she is dedicated 100% to the channel. And that includes, you know, creating deliverables out to the channel to help you guys market on behalf of D10, make your marketing efforts easier, speak to your internal teams easier, but also importantly, developing programs that are specifically for the channel. Because right now, essentially, we don't have a really robust reseller program. Let's just face it. You know, you're either a reseller or you're not a reseller. We have a few incentives. We have a few promos that we run through the channel, but for the most part, we don't really have a lot of benefits or offerings specifically out to the channel. And Eileen Tonger was brought on board as director of channel marketing. And one of her objectives in 2022 is looking at how do we create programs to the channel so D10 can be more meaningful for our channel partners. And whether that includes more robust MDF programs, more robust promotions, you know, more regular communication out to the channel. Like we said, it's been 18 months since we've done this. Shame on us. You know, we should be doing a regular cadence. We should be doing a regular cadence with our reseller community. We should be speaking out to our reseller community more regularly, so you guys know what we're doing and you can stay up to speed on all things D10.
I appreciate the transparency, and I'm sure the folks that are listening in are going to appreciate that as well. Thank you for clarifying this with the sales channel team. But you know, nothing for nothing, we are still a bunch of nerds that are on this call, and if you come here and don't talk product, did we even have a webinar without that? So let's get right into the products. Tell me about what is going on. Obviously, trade shows have been a hard one to come by, but you guys did show up at Zoomtopia virtually, and you did have a splash to make there as well. Can you maybe recap some of the announcements that you made there for the folks that maybe weren't part of Zoomtopia?
Yeah, well, can you, Mark, can you throw up the... Yep, and this is where I am gonna, you know, say for my nerd chops, I'm gonna rely on Dave.
Oh, so so Dave, you were gonna play the role of Uber nerd on this one.
Well, one thing I do want to point out, and we're gonna go through some of our, you know, new product offerings, specifically Me Pro and GoMate, because those are, you know, a little different products than you may be used to from D10. We're known for our big boards, and the GoMate is slightly different. But before I switch over to him, one thing I do want to point out is we on our one of the new products that we kind of were in beta for a while, but we've removed that sort of, you know, beta offering, is the Dual 75. And that's something that you know, specifically in higher ed space, specifically in some of the judicial spaces, specifically in some of the end user deployments where it's going into a big space, we've had a need for a Dual 75. We've had a little bit of a gap in our portfolio. That right now is no longer in beta. It is generally available in that we are shipping it, but it is built to order. So I want to be very clear. It's not something that's being stocked right now, but it is something that is orderable. And we are building, as we get orders in, we are building them, and it's about a 4-week lead time to get those built.
Okay.
So
All right, sir. Are you ready to run through what is new, what is hot, and what is not at D10 with the products?
I certainly am.
Go for it.
All right.
You're on the clock.
So probably the first thing we need to talk about is the D10 Me Pro.
Okay.
We've had the D10 Me for a while, 27-inch all-in-one, 3 cameras, 12 microphones, just a great work from home or these days hot desking solution is the other thing. We also add virtual receptionist to it. So you can use it as your virtual receptionist, walk into a lobby, hit one button, it'll ring somebody and you can talk to them appropriately. The D10 Me Pro, however, added one additional feature, and that is a USB-C connector. We call that connector Smart Connect. And that's because we take that USB-C connector and we connect it to the USB connection on your laptop. What this does is from your laptop, you now get access to all the cameras, the microphones, the speakers, and the touch of the D10 Me Pro. So when using a D10 Me Pro as my secondary monitor, it becomes a full touch-enabled monitor. That in itself is kind of cool. But more importantly, if you wanted to start a Zoom call or any other type of call, a Teams call, a WebEx call, a GoToMeeting call, you can launch that call on your laptop and you can use the cameras that are available in the Me Pro. You can use the microphones available in the Me Pro. You can use the speakers available in the Me Pro. So it really becomes a universal tool to be able to use those sophisticated pieces. And believe me, the D10 Me Pro cameras are much better than the camera that's on a laptop, for example, positioned the right way. The microphones have much better pickup, for example. All those things are sitting right there. We might as well take advantage of it, and we can use it with any laptop, any provider that we've got appropriate.
So Dave, I'll be the first to ask the question. Your computer is the source where your call lives. So for example, if it's a Zoom call, it's being powered by your computer, but the D10 Me Pro is taking over the audio, video, and display. Yep. Excellent. Okay, so
the Me Pro still has a full Zoom environment built into it itself.
Yes.
And you can certainly use that if you want, or you can run Zoom off your laptop at your choice.
And for Bobby, who is sent in a question, I just want to point out that, yes, this is being recorded and your team will we'll have this available because we will send out this link as well in the future. So yes, to answer your question, Bobby, we will send this out so you don't miss anything if you have to jump. Real quick on the Me versus Me Pro, can you give me some of the changes? Some of the differentiators between a Me and a Me Pro offhand, kind of like one versus the other. What is the differentiator between one and the other?
So if I'm looking at a virtual receptionist, for example, I would choose a D10 Me because I don't need to handle the D10 Me Pro in any way. If I'm running... Right? If I'm running a home situation where I think from time to time I'm going to have to make Teams calls or other type of solutions, then I'm probably going to go with a Me Pro.
Okay, so the Me is a dedicated Zoom machine, while the Me Pro is open to other spaces. Okay,
correct.
They each have the same amount of microphones and the same type cameras.
Yeah, exactly the same hardware.
Excellent. The other question that I'm going to have to hit you up on: does one require a Zoom Room license, or is it whatever you're running on your machine for your own Zoom license that you're using on this?
When you're running a Me Pro in what we call monitor mode, which is working at the monitor and the extensions, whatever license you have on your laptop is what you use.
Okay.
When you're using it in the Zoom environment, you can choose to run either a personal Zoom Room, and that is free of charge, or you can put a full Zoom Room environment on it. If you were putting it in, say, a phone booth, for example, if you're putting it in a hot desk situation where different people are going to come in every day, if you're putting it in a virtual receptionist situation, that's where you use a full Zoom Room license.
Taking your design cap and kind of turning it around and putting it on sideways here, where are you seeing these Me Pros being used, not just on a desk. Obviously, in a work from home situation, that seems to be obvious. 27-inch, nice monitor size to have on your desk. But where are you seeing this in the corporate environment? Are you seeing this in the education spaces? Where do you see the Me and the Me Pros at this moment?
We're seeing in the corporate spaces, we're seeing them obviously in the executive office spaces where previously they had other types of solutions and they've switched to Zoom, for example. They want the same type of experience. That's a great example. Obviously, your phone booths, your huddle rooms, those kind of things. And now the latest thing that's coming up is we are starting to see them being actively used in hot desking situations. So now that everybody is going to be hybrid or they're not going to go to the office at all, you need to have a series of desks where when somebody does show up, they can sit down and get some work done. And if you could sit down at a D10 Me, not even a Me Pro necessarily, punch in your username and password, your Zoom username and password, so it becomes your personal Zoom room. Not only do you get all your Zoom calls coming to you, if the organization's running Zoom phone, it's now the phone for that desk space, and you're operating as you were at any one of your desks. And if next week you come back and you're sitting somewhere else, you log in, you get exactly the same experience.
All right. So
And
next
ideally,
I have a dumb question
people
now.
are putting them at home and the office.
Yeah.
So now it's the same experience both places.
I'm sure there's a handful of people thinking the same thing. How do you connect a headset device to this, to either the Me or the Me Pro? Is it USB? Is it a 3.5 jack? Is it Bluetooth? How are we able to sit at a desk and not disturb somebody next to us? Because I like this idea of having it on the desk, replacing a lot of other stuff.
It's Bluetooth enabled, so you can use pretty much any Bluetooth headset you'd like. That's a headset combination with or without a microphone. We actually have what we call high quality sound mode, which on the Bluetooth, it will just send audio to the headset and it will use our microphones to pick up the sound.
Okay. Going back to your hardcore AV days, what are the gazentas and the gazatas of the unit? What do you have as far as inputs and outputs on these machines? Do they vary from one to the other?
They do vary in one thing. Both units have an Ethernet connection. Both units have an HDMI in, so it can be the second monitor. The D10 Me Pro has a USB-C connection, so you can bring that back to your laptop.
So you can do wired internet and wireless internet.
That is correct. There's Wi-Fi
Awesome.
on both.
Awesome. See, I'm trying to stump you, Dave, but this isn't working right now.
And that USB-C connection is USB 2.0, so it will not carry your video channel. You'll still need the HDMI cable.
Okay. Sounds good. So that's a great overview of the Me and the versus the Me Pro and where that may come into play. I also know that you guys have some stands for it, aside from the fact that it comes out and kind of has like a little bit of a kickstand, but there are some mounts to raise it up a little bit. This is products that you guys have developed, or is it going through third party? Is that a D10 product is basically what I'm getting at, because I've seen the stands.
We have two products that we've developed. The first one is a stand, and just as you said, it allows you to raise it off the desk a little bit if you like. The second thing that we developed is a Visa mount adapter, and it is an L-shaped bracket so that the unit bolts to the bottom of it, and then on the back side it gives you a 100 by 100 Visa mount, so you can mount it to any type of mount that you'd like, pull arm, stretch, whatever.
Okay. Sounds good.
Chris, can I interrupt here too? Because I actually get this question a lot from a lot of resellers. You bring up the stand and the Visa mount. It's the same stand and the same Visa mount for the Me and the Me Pro. And I actually, I do get that question a lot. Are the accessories the same, even though one's the Me and one's the Me Pro? The form factor is still the same for the product. The accessories are the same as well.
Perfect. We like no confusion. We like simple.
Easy peasy. Yep.
Easy peasy is great. I love the technical term. Thank you. Yep. We do have a question that came in as well from Andrew. And he is asking the question about how does Microsoft Teams integrate? I'm assuming that's into the Me Pro. Again, does that live on the machine, or is that living off of your laptop that is connecting to it? You may have answered this and I may have confused it there, Dave.
So Microsoft Teams would run from your laptop. and it would utilize the camera, microphone, speakers, and touch from the Me Pro.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
But there's
Now
no way to input Microsoft Teams into the Me Pro for it to live like you would
Correct.
a Zoom system.
Right. However, it is currently an internal beta to be able to join a Teams meeting from a D10 Me or Me Pro. So in the Zoom environment, you would see the same invite that you normally see. And when you hit that start meeting button, it would bring you into that Teams meeting using a web RTC socket. So everything would turn purple and red and look like Teams for you.
Thank you for the tease. I hope we're not going to get in trouble with legal because you just gave us some scoop that we weren't supposed to hear. But if you did, you heard it here, folks, first. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate you putting your job on the line for that one. There's a question that came in from Chris. Chris has a question regarding the camera control. Has camera control been implemented? It was pending/beta for quite some time. Has there been an official release for camera control on the Me and Me Pro, or the Me Pro in general?
There has. Camera control for the single center camera has been released. The 3-camera version is currently in internal beta with us.
Awesome. Okay. Have we hit every point that that we needed to on the Me and Me Pro? I mean, they're very, very simple design. I mean, honestly, you guys just build a very purpose-built system. Not a lot of flash to it. It does what it's supposed to do. And that's the beauty of it. If the folks here that are on the webinar have any questions regarding the Me or the Me Pro, please drop them into the Q&A like we have been getting already. So that's be greatly appreciated. We're going to move on to the other products that you guys have. Give us a little bit of updates on your other. Let's start with your boards, your big boards. That's what you're known for. That's where you. Yeah, that was your claim to fame. Give us an update on what's the latest and greatest. Obviously, we know that the dual 75s are a big deal for you guys as well. What's new in the world of electronic boards?
Sure. So just as a little recap, within the D7 family, that's the 55 dual 55, 75 dual 75s, right? They can all today join a Teams meeting. So if you get invited to a Teams meeting, they can join in automatically. If they get invited to a WebEx meeting, they can join in automatically. That's all available and ready to go. The stuff that is in public preview right now, which I'm real excited about, I think there's a lot of possibilities here, is you now have the ability to add a second USB camera to one of the USB ports. And with that second USB camera, the unit will actually generate 2 different video streams, one from each camera. So now if you wanted a different angle of the conference room, for example, or in a classroom, you wanted the board behind the teacher so they could see all the students and write on it, but you wanted a camera in the back of the room to see the teacher, you can now have 2 separate streams. And you can actually put in a second remote USB camera to have up to 3 streams coming out of the board.
Excellent.
So that's pretty exciting. Gives you basically 3 cameras rather than 1 off a Zoom call.
Sounds pretty good. Let's move on. What other goodies do you have? Please reveal.
All right. Yeah. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the Go with Mate. And the D10 Go is designed to be used with a monitor that you already have. So the first thing I am going to say about the Go with Mate is it also has that USB-C or Smart Connect feature. So all its cameras, microphones, etc., can be pulled back to a laptop if you'd like. But more importantly, it has not 1, but 2 HDMI outs. So if you wanted to build your own dual screen scenario, you can do so with the D10 Go. D10 Go actually has 4 cameras. You can kind of see them in the picture here even. 3 of them on one side and 1 of them on the other side. The reason for the 4 cameras is the 3 cameras together will give you an up to 160-degree view to see everybody around the space. But that 4th camera will give you a long distance to get up to 30 feet away. And currently, we are currently in beta for the 4-camera PTZ features, which are kind of cool because you can start zooming and just kind of keep zooming and go from the short camera to the long camera.
We did have a question that popped up regarding, I guess it was to the previous question regarding the switching of the cameras that you just mentioned, that you can have 2 cameras set up in the spaces. How does the switching of those camera angles, how is that done?
When we're talking about the D7, you have the option to either go to the board and choose the camera you want to send, or you can send both cameras. Each one will have its own box in the call. So you can send both simultaneously.
Awesome. And those are controllable by the touchscreen or by app, if possible?
Or a Zoom Room controller, an app, any of those things. Yep.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I hope that answered your question, Andrew. Sorry, Dave, go ahead. We were in the middle of Go updates when we interrupted. So go right ahead.
So back to the Go. The Go has 12 microphones for us. So basically, we're going to use whatever monitor somebody's supplying. Interesting enough, I've seen a lot of people that are putting them on top of video walls, because what seems to happen is you build a big video wall in the lobby, and at some point somebody goes, "Hey, can we just use it to do our all hands meeting?" And you weren't really thinking that was an application, but all of a sudden, snap a Go on there, you've got a full Zoom Room connection, and you're ready to go. Now, because the monitor that you're using, I don't know that you can necessarily have touch enablement on it. The Go comes with a 10-inch wireless tablet that we call a Mate. And the 10-inch wireless tablet that is the Mate will mirror exactly what is going to the screen of the Go. So if you have Zoom controls on that screen, in your hand on the Mate, you will be able to push the buttons and operate whatever you want to do. If somebody engages a whiteboard session on the Mate, you will get the whiteboard and you will have full annotation controls. If somebody shares content, you can annotate over that content using the Mate. So you have full collaborative controls basically from the palm of your hand. Using the little 10-inch Mate tablet, you can annotate on it, draw, control the room, whatever you need to do appropriately is the idea.
I like that. That's a good feature.
And the one option that we have, sorry, I got my wire here on it, is we do have an optional docking station. And this docking station comes with a whole bunch of kits, but the simplest one is you can drop it in and it'll charge the Mate for you. And there's a little place where you can grab it and pull it off. We do have a trim kit that will hold it there permanently if you want it on the table, not moving. It will take both the power from a USB, or you can do a PoE connection to it. It also has a wall mount kit for it, so you can put it on the wall as well.
I love the David Copperfield vibes you're giving off of just pulling things out of thin air, and
it's that funny.
very, very, very classy. I like the magic show that you're providing. That did not have that included in our invite, the Dave Silberstein Magical Act. Well, thank you for that update on the Go. Okay, Dave, you've been doing this for a long time in this industry. I've known you for a long time. What is the one thing that has, of all the cool stuff that you showed us, what is the one thing that makes you the happiest to see coming out with the D10s right now? What's the coolest feature? What's the most interesting thing that is happening in the world of D10 as far as the products go? As
far as the products go, and I know there's stuff in the works that's going to be all kinds of exciting.
So, folks, this is how I get him in trouble.
I was just going to say, this seems to me like a leading question.
It's very, very leading.
With the Me and the Me Pro and the return to office prospects, it's creating so many new opportunities where we as AV people never stepped before. To say, okay, there are 100 conference rooms out there, and 10 of them used to be video enabled, and now all 100 of them are going to be video enabled. We know that's the case. We know what those rooms are. D7s are going to go there every day and do their thing. The thing that we never looked at or never talked about was executive office spaces, personal desk spaces, work from home spaces. These are all massive opportunity. Virtual receptionists. These are all massive opportunities where we as AV people never really reached those spaces, never looked at those spaces. That was something.
Let's be fair.
The tough guy did.
We had the ability to do it. It's just that, traditional AV you would need a budget that many people didn't have to do a virtual reception or to outfit every office like as if it was executives. Honestly, one of the things that I'm noticing as a trend is just that, what you just said. Everybody back in the day wanted what the executive offices had. They had their own video systems. They had presentation systems. If the executive did not have to get up and go to or book a room, they could do it from their office. I think what you're seeing is kind of like, that's being brought down. That structure of only the higher end, the higher up and the higher end offices had these things. It's now available to everybody, and that everybody can have something like this, because it's not. I mean, you're talking about what is the MSRP? Because we only talk MSRP on here. What are you talking about an MSRP on a Me Pro?
On a Me Pro, the MSRP is $999.
And the Me?
And the Me is $799.
Okay. That is that was the price of an IMUX back in the day. Yeah, right. Okay, so and if you don't know what an IMUX is, folks, please wiki IMUX, and it was just a little piece that connected it to an NT1, and that's how you had to make things happen. But God, now we're dating ourselves there, Dave. We did not want to do that. But so you have this shrinking of the executive only offices now that's available to everybody. I love what you're doing, and the idea of taking something as simple as the Mate, throwing it onto an existing video wall, which everybody prior to 2019 or 2020 for that matter, everybody was installing video walls and kind of just had their digital signage and some cool art and stuff. You know what happened over the last 18 months? That art has not changed. Nothing has changed there. It's kind of just been playing the same thing in an empty lobby. The fact that you can bring people back, which are now looking for socially distanced spaces, using those big screens, big monitor, investments that you made to do an all hands meeting with as simple as just connecting an HDMI plug into an existing opening in your video wall processor. That's pretty interesting, considering that was not the intention of it when it was designed, and how simple it is to add for relatively low cost. So for the folks that are on here, if you do need help or you are looking for design assist on that, that is something obviously that Starin can help with. We have some great engineers on staff, a lot of CTSDs. Actually, we have 3-4 CTSDs on hand that can help you do that. And if we need to pull in the resources from D10, they are available as well to assist when it comes to all that sort of stuff. So thank you so much for giving us your opinion on that. Is there anything else that we should do or talk about in closing that we missed?
Yeah,
so Chris, hang on. Yeah, Chris, to stay on that topic for a second, when we used to build out those rooms, we had 100 conference rooms and 10 of them were video enabled. That's because it took $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to build out that room. Now, a D10 55-inch, if you go with a D10 on, it's under $3,000. A D7 is what, $43.29 list price. So now for $4,000 or $5,000, I can, with my budget, get every room video enabled. And because so many people are going to be hybrid, and even if you are full-time back in the office, people are going to go, I have to work from home today, and that's going to be acceptable. You're going to need video enabled in every conference room. So the tools are there, ready to do it. It is like a perfect time and a perfect position. $3,000 to $5,000, you can get a room done. But as a former technology manager, I cannot say that will include your infrastructure costs to have some plywood and power driven there. God knows that was super expensive back in the day. I'm sure that is not going to be the cheapest part of your install. Ironically, now the technology may be the less expensive part of that upgrade as you're upgrading all your spaces. So you're 100% right there, Dave. Appreciate that.
Susan, you had something that you wanted to add?
Yeah, I wanted to chime in here too, because, as you're trying to throw out different use cases, I think the overall message here is, regardless of whatever industry you're selling into, regardless of whatever type of customer you're talking to, there is a use case and there is a need for video, whether it's to, support hybrid learning, hybrid working, whether it's to communicate with customers that are now comfortable with video. Those of us that have been selling video for years have been comfortable having video calls. Now everyone is comfortable, so it's no longer the outlier. But I think that, we're missing probably the most important piece, which we talked about a little bit before, which is, do we have anything to sell? And guess what we do? Because we do have inventory. And I think that that's really important for everyone to hear and for everyone to understand. And when you are talking to your customers about what are they doing for, back to work, what are they doing to deploy remote learning in a university, we have inventory. And I want to, take the second here to, also thank Starin for your efforts in making sure that you have inventory as well. So we have 75s, we have 55s, we have Ms, we have Me Pros, we have Go Mates. The only thing that's a little constrained right now are Ons, and they are off the boat. They're sitting in the port. They're waiting to get a confirmation on a truck to get over to Michigan City to get into your warehouse. But we have inventory. So for, the resellers out there, for you guys that are looking for something to sell, we have inventory to sell. And I'm not sure that every manufacturer can say that right now.
Well, I appreciate that you addressed the 900-pound gorilla in the room, that everybody would be pretty much on that. Back just real quick, and this is my own thing on the use case. I lent my D7 55, the one that's here behind me, that's usually on most of my calls. I lent that to my son's karate school, who they were doing Zoom-based instruction during the pandemic. And I told them, I said, why are you using a laptop? Why are you using your iPad on a contraption that they had put together? It was very much a tripod with some bubble gum and some zip ties to kind of hold the thing together. And the audio, the video, everything was poor. I showed him this. And, the smallest little businesses can actually put this stuff into use that you would not consider. So if you are an integrator, look at, obviously nursing home facilities that, folks need an easy way to connect back to their folks back at home. This is one way via Zoom. This is an easy one that they can put in their public rooms, or even put one into the rooms for the people that are there. Obviously, karate and dance studios, obviously with a wide angle field of view, it works really well to kind of show the total picture, as opposed to just the occasional foot in a roundhouse kick appearing on camera. So take advantage of this stuff. Look at other at some of the places that you would have not looked at. There are opportunities there for this board where the ease of use and the facility, the ability to facilitate an easy conference call. It's bigger and goes beyond than just a boardroom application. You can see these in schools, universities, being used in different spaces as well. So keep an open mind. There are places yet to be uncovered where these Zoom room tools can be used more. So
it's no longer just a luxury for the enterprise.
No, it's actually not a luxury for anyone anymore at this point, because when my mom told me that she was going to Zoom me, I knew that that's it. The technology has jumped the shark, for a Happy Days reference for people that wanted to hear that one. But the minute that my mom said she was going to Zoom me, I, after 20 years, finally got kudos for, she understands what my college money went to, and she understood what I do for a living now. So thanks, Mom, for 20 years later to finally know what I do for a living and appreciate the fact that I was part of a Zoom, for that matter, or getting Zoom stuff out there. So thanks. We're going to go ahead and bring up our next slide, which is going to talk about our Q4 promo. And I'll give you a little bit to Susan. You want to address this Q4 reseller promo that you got going on?
Yep, we've got a reseller incentive here that we're running through Starin, and it's obviously, we spent a lot of time talking about the Me Pro and the Go Mate. So we've got the $20 incentive back out to the reseller through through end of December. So this is our incentive out to you guys to sell more. We're essentially tracking it through POS, so there's not a lot of hoops you have to jump through to claim it. It's a it's a way to thank you for selling products that are new out into the market and to try to drive some demand and give you guys a little incentive here towards the end of the year to sell something that, guess what, I'm going to say it again, is in stock. So this isn't an incentive we put in place and said, oh, guess what, we don't have any of these and you can't sell them.
We have inventory. Let's move it out there. So if anybody's on the line that is looking for this stuff, we do have it and we can actually get it to you fairly quicker than other products. So
correct.
And it's there.
And I know, in the interest of time, we are running I think a little short, but I do want to plug two more promotions and make sure everyone's aware. The first is our Deal Reg promotion that we've been running. Now it's an ongoing promotion, but resellers that are using Deal Reg and resellers that are getting opportunities registered, they are winning those opportunities. So I would encourage anyone out there, when you have an opportunity, when you uncover a D10 opportunity, get that registration in. You can go to d10.allbound.com, sign up if you don't have a login. If you do, get your opportunity registered. Unlike many manufacturers, for the most part, we don't have a minimum. The exception is for Me Pro. There is a minimum of 10 units for Me Pro. But for any of our big boards, our D7, the On, and the duals, there is no minimum. So if you have an opportunity you're working on, even if it's just one board, Chris, you pointed out that this isn't just for enterprise. If you have a small SMB you're working with, single unit sale, get it registered, because what this does is it's going to help protect the reseller that's bringing us the opportunity. It protects you in the account because it gives an additional discount back to the reseller, and they can use it to either make a little more money, or they can use it if it gets competitive and the customer sends it out to bid. They will have a better price. The other one is we have a Gov Ed Promo that is running right now through the end of the year. We've been extending it, but that is something that right now it is set to expire at the end of the year, and it's an additional discount for any sale into a government or education entity. So please use that. We've got a smaller buying season for education, but we do see a lot of higher ed buying in December for deployments while they're on their holiday break. If you're working on any opportunities in education space, in government space, there is that additional discount as well.
Sounds great. All right. So we got two quick questions that I want to take on before we move to the, you know what, we can queue up the next slide while we answer these questions. Brent asks, can D10 support MS Teams? Absolutely. Dave actually addressed that in the Me Pro and the D7 line. They can support the Microsoft Teams platform. So that has been answered. Brian asks, is there a demo location in the Southeast where we can actually see the products? Dave, Susan, what's the best place for a person or an organization to check out the D10s?
So
by the way, there was also, Brian, before they answer that, Starin has a try to buy program. So if you do have something that you like, we can send kind of set you up with a try it to like it, or try it to buy it, or try it to something. We can be kind of the middleman in between there as well. So we can do that. But is there a formal demo facility or somewhere in the South or Southeast?
We don't have a EBC demo facility in the Southeast, and even we have a headquarters in San Francisco, but even that we're kind of closed down as well right now. The recommendation is, the Starin tried to like it. We can do demos as well.
This is a great opportunity to contact your CAM.
Yep, I was just gonna say
work with them. Because believe it or not, we have plenty of happy customers who are more than willing to let us go in and they will show off their products for us.
Yep. I was just going to say, this is, the direction here is reach out to your CAM and we'll help make sure that we can get a demo out to the customer and help make sure that we're, giving the demo to the good experience demo to the customer to close it. And guess what? Then they can keep the board and we just invoice it out and away we go.
And that all starts with reaching out to your representative at Starin. We can make those connections as well. So we are here. You have multiple lines of contacts for that to happen. So we'll be happy to assist in getting that demo, whether it's a try it to like it or an actual Dave Silberstein tour of a facility, which, got that is some joy right there. We are going to announce, and no disrespect for D10, but everybody here comes for the prizes. They love the information, but somebody wants to win a prize. And, unfortunately, I start getting pinged. Please spin the wheel, as Mark does off screen, and he has sent me the winner. This month's winner of the Amazon $50 gift card is Andrew Beckman. Congratulations, Andrew. Producer Mark will be in touch. He will get you that $50 Amazon gift card, which can come in handy this time of year as we start going into the holidays. Buy your turkey. Apparently they're on shortage. So enjoy the if you can buy turkeys on Amazon. I guess you can with their
buy anything on Amazon.
Yeah, I guess you can buy anything on Amazon. So congratulations, Andrew, for winning the big Amazon gift card. So next month, we will have our special holiday wrap up every year. I am joined by Melissa Dillman and our CEO, Bobby Schwartz. We will wrap up 2021 in what was the strangest year I think we've been through. Outside of what 2020 did, 2021 was a roller coaster. Some days things were open, some days things were closed. We've had all different types of impacts in our world as far as product shortages and chipsets. And God, we have a lot to talk about and a lot to wrap up and put a bow on 2021 and move on past 2021 and get ready for 2022, because the prediction is that 2022 is going to be the year that AV comes back. Not just a little bit comes back. We come back full force, because you have the people that are coming back into the space, into the offices. You have the rebuilding and the returns of the trade shows and the live events. I think that 2022 will be a better experience than what we had in 2021. I personally would love to write off the 2 car accidents and the broken foot that I started the year off with. So please, let's finish 2021 in style with a good wrap up. So I will be joined by Bobby Schwartz, Melissa Dillman, and some special guests. We have some announcements. We have some cool prizes. That's what we do here at Starin on our town hall. Real quick, just to say, where can, and we'll wrap up with Susan, where can we find out more information about D10?
I encourage everyone to go to our partner portal, d10.allbound.com. Reach out to your CAM, reach out to your Starin rep. We can get you any D10 information. But if you don't already have a login to the portal, please do. There's a lot of information out there. And that is also how you register deals.
Sounds great. Mr. Silberstein, any contact information, any information that you need to drop for the people to know how to get a hold of you or D10 website?
I guess for me, it's david.silberstein@d10.com. In the Twitter lands, D10 Dave, if you want to find me there. And of course, d10.com is our main website to at least see the products, but the Allbound site, the dealer portal, is where all the good technical stuff hangs out.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us the update on all things D10. Just another reminder, next month, special wrap. It won't be the last Thursday of the year. We're probably going to move it up a little bit because we know that you all are going to be heading out that final week of Christmas. So look for the date and the invite coming. Thank you all for joining us. My name's Chris Neto. I am the Market Development Manager here at Starin, and I am wishing you all a happy Thanksgiving for those that are going to be having some turkey, who find turkey, and for everybody else, just stay safe. Do what you got to do. Let's get through this year. And thank you so much for being a part of the Starin brand and the Starin family. And we look forward to wrapping up 2021 and going into a massive, better, and much more happier 2022. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next month.
Thank you.